All right, now maybe you hear me, hopefully. Yes, this should finally be working. Game sounds don't look like they're working either. Let's see, I think that should work, maybe. Trying to find, there we go. All right, I think we should have audio. Would appreciate audio check chat. Let's take a look here. Military score pretty close. Orders, slight lead for Egypt. Money, food, iron, stone, wood, pretty comparable-ish. Science, also pretty comparable-ish. A little bit of lead for Egypt, but Syria is actually pushing in here. So, and a pretty big city lead, 7 versus 4. So, yeah. And some pretty highly promoted units, although they've got onagers here. All right, thank you. So, thanks, Skipper. Appreciate the audio check. All right, so I'm just tuning in. I did not see part 1 of this game. So, yeah. Looks like we're on a mountain pass duel, so there's no rivers on this map, which is always interesting. And only 1 law for Syria, slavery, and 5 laws for Egypt. And I guess we do have some light chariots coming out. So looks like an initial push here from Assyria with some really aggressive forward settling. This is like all up in Egypt's grill, right? This is the middle of the map, split point symmetry wise here. So Assyria has taken 3 cities on the Egyptian side of the map and is just pumping out units. These onagers will do a bit of damage here. Let's see what Egypt does. They can, yeah, there we go. We're going to see some nice route chains here. Obviously, can't route chain through spears though, but they do have axes against spears. Also some spears from Assyria. So, yeah, kind of an interesting position. Some early aggression from Scrubisnki and MongrelEyes, even though they're only on 4 cities, might be able to hold it here, just because they got a couple onagers, which are, again, so powerful in the early game. Even in the forest, this onager is doing 7 damage to this slinger, 5 damage to this, and of course splashing all over the place as well. Yeah, some last minute roading here from Syria as well. And the law advantage, I think, is a big deal here. These are 6 strength units. Assyria does not have an answer to 6 strength units. That said, they do have a lot of units, but Egypt also has the tech and order advantage here. So this could be pretty interesting. Some aggression here, and the onager is actually hitting the city, which honestly I don't love personally. I feel like you want to kill units and only take cities once the units are gone. These onagers can still hit units, right? Together, these 2 onagers could probably kill, like for sure. This you could have hit these dudes here, gone in. But yeah, I guess it's worth hitting the city if you feel like you want to take the city. I don't know if this was originally a Egyptian city or not. Let's check here. Doesn't look like it. I don't have the city names memorized. I can check on the reference site. Iken is not a city name. It's an Egyptian city name. So this was originally an Egyptian city, so he's trying to take his city back. Gaza also, that's an Egyptian city name, I think. No, Gaza is the Syrian one. Nimrud is definitely an Assyrian one. So, Gaza and Nimrud are both actually not clear what Nimrud is. So, not showing on either city list. So, yeah, well, this is an Assyrian city and this was an Egyptian city. So Egypt, I think, at one point had founded 5. All right, let's see here. So we lost an axeman and a spearman last turn. We are having issues with our economy here, selling some stone to cover debts. And yeah, no chance there of paying that money. Getting some walls up. We don't have walls here. We were building them, but now we're repairing. And this is just such a forward city, and we are getting light chariots being printed out here. Would love to see some pillaging here, honestly. This stronghold in particular, he could force march to get to it, and just shutting down the ability to build the unique unit is going to be huge, especially since Egypt doesn't have that many cities. And I think this might be Egypt's only stronghold. So it is worth, I think, a forced march to pillage this. Although honestly, maybe not, because that will just get obliterated by those onagers on those hills. Because they'll hit onagers, they will hit the they'll hit the urban, do lots of damage there. So yeah, not sure. Let's take a look at family opinion. The patrons are pissed, but fortunately there are not very many patron units. I guess a couple. Let's see, the slinger over here, and our spearman over here. Importantly, the champions, who have lots of units, are pretty happy, and the hunters are very happy. Sadly, no forward hunter city, which I feel like this is interesting. Okay, we never dealt with the Danes. Okay, so maybe this is how this game unfolded. We kind of left the Danes alone and then settled towards this. So we're at war with Danes, so we're probably going to get some nasty raids, which will be pretty icky. Just trying to see here. We did kill a chariot here with our spear. The chariot that sort of did that route change. Chariots, of course, very vulnerable to spears. And now we are whittling down, looks like whittling down this axeman here. Potentially, we're trying to, yep. Maybe can get one of those lovely Syrian crits. I would have loved to see it move closer. Let's see, we can kill the axe with the spear. Got a crit, ironically. Of course, you don't know when those crits happen as Assyria, so it makes it a little trickier. But yeah, Scrubisnki's in a bit of a pickle, just because he's behind on orders, behind on science, with about a 500 science gap. Military score is even, but his opponent has 4 laws and he does not. And economy-wise, Egypt has way more food. Scrubisnki has more iron. Stone is about par, and wood, no one has wood income yet. And money, Egypt's also in a much better money situation. So I feel like Egypt's economy overall is stronger. We can see this here, plus 54 food versus minus 7, 15 iron versus 64, 86 stone versus 83, minus 1 wood, and then 1,000 gold to the bank versus 0, although both players are losing. But the bigger problem is 5 laws against 1. That said, Assyria does have 7 cities against 4 and has taken a city. So yeah, yeah, they're going to need all these spears to deal with light chariots. I feel like Assyria does not have sufficient spears for what lies ahead. Yeah, there's only 4 spears, and one of them is all the way over there. We also have some raids over here, which is awkward. These are raids. Barbarian raid, that doesn't make sense. But oh, and we also have a tribal invasion with the Danes. That's awkward. Yeah, so we've got some spears over there, and we're just very order constrained. We stopped our economy entirely for dealing with this. We don't really have I guess we've got some good roading to the front. We're still trying to get some more roading going this way. But yeah, looking like a pretty tough situation here for Syria. All right, and we're back over to Egypt on turn 69. Nice, nice. And yeah, Egypt 28 orders also has mostly stopped their economy as well. They are able to deal quite a bit of damage here. These guys are hiding in the forest, but of course that does not help against this. There are some pretty brutal route chains here. You could route through 4 units, potentially, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just take everything out that is not a spear, which I would love to see. The forest is not going to do that much damage, but you can get some pretty nasty splash damage here. Yeah. That is not a rider one, and we do have 1 year on the light chariot. So it's always important to think your moves out tactically in this. You want to figure out what your attacks are. Don't just blindly willy-nilly click. But yeah, looks like they're still hitting the city. Okay, I guess they can just walk in and take it, or just take it with something next with this ceremony. They don't need to hit the city with another Andra. They can just attack with anything and take the city, which honestly, again, don't know if the city makes much of a difference here, but I guess okay to take it back. There we go. Captured it. All right, and then, yeah, would love to see these route chains potentially. We could also try to clear some of these spears. The only thing that Assyria really has that does any, that only, I mean, you've got some chariots and some light chariots. You kill the spears, they don't really have anything to deal with chariots and light chariots. So arguably killing the spears is a priority here, and I'd love to see this, and we potentially have a really, really nice splash damage attack here. Taking out some of these, yep. And then can just, oh, yeah, can do that. And then Unfortunately, can't rout, but we do have some slingers nearby. Yeah, we definitely have enough units. The mobility of light chariots is also pretty good. Boom, got a crit, lovely, and then just needs to onager crits are amazing, thanks to this 12% chance there, thanks to this pretty smart zealot, and we do have a scholar in Egypt versus a schemer, still on another starting leader, but a schemer in Syria. Okay, so I see a note here. Axe, okay. Yeah, still could potentially kill some of this stuff. Don't know what this dude's doing fortifying here. I guess trying to protect this, but like, yeah, I presume you can just move in here, cleave, attack this. You got this. Yeah, you can, if you hit this, it's kind of a beautiful route chain here. Attack this, and I think this will do some cleave damage to that, and then you can just route through this way. And we'll see here some attacks over here as well. Don't love this. This feels like splitting your forces unnecessarily. You could also do some pretty insane flank damage here. Thanks to this being a saddleborn one, it's always good to concentrate your forces. So, yeah, I do feel like we should kill, like, the reason I don't love this is this, you're not going to kill this unit. I don't see anything in range able to kill this unit, and this unit is also not a threat to you. These units are much more dangerous to kill. You should be focusing on killing this axe, and you have the ability to do so pretty easily. You can just move this axe over here, and then you can route chain through that. This axe, I think, could even hit that slinger, and then I believe it would do enough cleave damage to let you route through. Okay, and now maybe, yeah, except for now we don't have the orders for it. So a little bit of tactical misplay, I would say. Again, don't understand what this is about. You're just exposed to chariot. All right, we're buying some orders of force march, and I'm going to do that. We got the crit, and then I guess we'll just do one attack. We did take out 2 spears though, which is really good, because again, spears are the only thing that is going to be able to stop Egypt's units right now, because we're going horse Egypt with light chariots and chariots. So Scrubisnki is now in trouble, I would say. Got military graph dropping. Of course, he does have 7 divorced cities, so severely ill. So let's see if that manages to fix. If he manages to heal, yeah, he's just going to kill this chariot. So this chariot is given away for free, accomplishing nothing. So would have been way better over here. Concentrate your forces. Of course, always easier said than done in network. But yeah. Let's take a look here. Looks like we do have a tactical retreat, I would say. I've connected this city and this city. I think it's wise to fall back here. You're not going to be able to deal with this, and fall back while you still can. Escape with these units, and then figure out how you're going to hold and reinforce. It's still going to be pretty tough for Egypt to fight in this forest, just because their slingers won't do very much damage. Their light chariots don't do very much damage in the forest. And obviously the onagers do not that much damage in the forest. But yeah, Egypt's going to be able to reclaim this city, and Egypt is in full-on military, almost full-on military production. We just got a apprentice acolyte there for some science, and Egypt is at 67 versus 59, but with the early science lead. How many times have we bought orders? We've never bought orders as a schemer. Interesting. I think it is worth buying a couple times. Raids are going to be a problem. This is why you don't leave tribes. You can leave barbarians in your backline, but you definitely don't want to leave tribes in your backline, because they will raid you. And that's really awkward when you're trying to fight a human opponent. So the Danes are helping out here, and helping Egypt fight Assyria. I haven't seen too many Assyria games, just a couple. I think Fluffy did a nice little battering ram rush. Assyria is very strong. The crit is pretty good. And I think the combo here we see here, patrons hunters and champs is also my favorite combo with them. But yeah, these raiders are going to be a problem. Meanwhile, Egypt has nothing to focus on except for Assyrian units, so I'm expecting they're going to clean up. Don't love that this unit didn't retreat from Assyria. This is just a free kill for Egypt. Don't understand this fortify at all from MongrelEyes. So yeah, take a look at these events. You probably don't want to persecute Egyptian paganism. Fun events. Hey, Brack. Yes, no rest. Just right. Walked into my apartment, fed my dog, and started casting because I saw there wasn't a caster. So they only started about 10 minutes ago. I missed part one, but we did miss a couple turns here. But hopefully we'll get some good coverage for folks. And looks like we're slowly moving up. These onagers don't particularly love this move. They were fine on the hill there. This doesn't really get you actually that much more coverage compared to what they were on the hill. So don't know that we need to move those onagers. If I wanted to move those onagers, I would probably move them onto these hills where they can threaten that city, although you're going to need to have some more forces to be able to do that. Or this hill and like sort of surround it. Yeah, I think we want to concentrate our forces. This could be a good sign of repositioning turn. Pull some of these axes up, pull this up, right? Figure out where you're going to go next. Are you going after Nimrod? Are you going after Gaza? Actually, I think the correct answer is you're going after his units and killing his units wherever you can. So I'd love to see stuff like killing this slinger is very killable right now. These 3 axes should be able to do it with all 3 axes being in the forest, maybe with 1 force march. Yeah, so all right, I definitely do not love these fortifies. Remember that fortifies take a order every turn, and it's like 5 additional defense, 5% additional defense per tick, and you only get the retaliate once that bar fills up after 5 orders. It's really expensive to fortify. It does make sense to fortify in a very fixed position, like if you have forts in front of onagers on hills and you're planning to keep those onagers there for a long time, totally makes sense to fortify the spearmen in front of the onagers. Does not make sense to fortify these axes here. You're just burning orders, honestly. Unless for some reason your opponent decides they want to try to attack axes in a forest with ranged units, which I don't think they will. But yeah, I don't know what Assyria's plan is right now. It looks like Egypt has been able to hold the early aggression. Assyria did take that city, I believe. We can try to... where's this? We can play this back at very high speed. All right, so we see Egypt founded there. Assyria founded all the way over there, insanely aggressively. And then took the city. That was some early aggression and pressure from Assyria. Wow. And then they kind of been backfilling since then. So it looks like turn 38 or so they had taken that city. Wow. So Egypt's kind of been on the back foot and went tall. This has to be wrong, right? There's Assyrian cities here. I guess Egypt just doesn't see them or doesn't have them scouted. We can check this map on the other side. But yeah, this was early capture from Assyria. Hey, Solver, you should be able to comment. Yeah, so Assyria's got some issues over here with raiders. Let me see if I can play it back from the Assyrian perspective just to sort of see what's going on. Play by advancing by year. So yeah, we see some very sort of forward settling. This is like very aggressive forward settling here from Assyria. That second city is very far away, right? Then we're clearing over here. We founded 2 more cities. We founded all the way over here. This is our 4th city all the way on their side of the map. And then they take this city on looks like turn 32 or so. breached on turn 28, and then they kind of backfilled. Okay, so that's kind of the story of the game. Assyria went really aggro and kind of overstretched, I would say. Aggro, I feel like aggro at the at the 4 strength unit, especially in a map this wide, I feel like it's going to be hard to just sustain that aggro, especially like he just finished roading all the way to the front. Imagine if you just sped cleared this and then we're aggroing with the full force, but I guess he wanted to deny these cities. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what Assyria is going to be able to do. It feels like they're sacking Nimrod. Like this does not feel like it's going to be defended. Curious whether they're going to trade that for time, right? But time to do what? Okay, I guess battle line is what? So we're going for like a Maceman rush here. This is interesting. So Assyria Maceman rush with longbows card, although it's going to be like a 5. All right, Sean, thanks for joining. Yes, I think you cast part 1, so really appreciate the context. They could have gone in and possibly ended, but pulled back. Yeah, well, it looks like they've given Egypt a bit of breathing room here, and now with the tech advantage on the Egyptian side, it's going to be. It's actually the tide might swing back and forth. Egypt has more orders. Does have the mysterious sword here in Assyria, so curious to see where this dude is. I don't think he's a governor or a general anywhere. Definitely would love to see him as a general if the mysterious sword does happen. Wow. So yeah, I see the sort of, right, maybe turn 25 here, 26, when that city fell, right? Egypt had nothing pretty much. They lost a unit somewhere, lost one of their units. And yeah, it was a pretty big gap, but Egypt has managed to claw their way back here. So it looks like it's pretty much a knife fight right now. Definitely not letting Egypt play a quiet eco game, which I don't know if that's Egypt's preference or not, but always my preference. So definitely putting on some early pressure. The challenge with early pressure, though, is early pressure costs a lot for the person pressuring. You're using a lot of orders, and if that military attack doesn't succeed, you effectively doesn't succeed and do damage. You've basically wasted a lot of orders that your opponent like it costs more orders to attack across a map this big. Hey, Hazard. Yeah, let's see what Egypt does here. They did get Zoro, so they locked both religions. Or no, Judaism is Assyrian, but Egypt follows. Okay, both of them are following Judaism. Interesting. But we did found Zoro here in Egypt. Okay. And also Christianity at some point somewhere. So Christianity got founded before Zoro, which is not something you see very often. So turn 71 Zoro. So I don't think I've ever seen a game where Zoro gets founded after Christianity. So yeah. So it looks like some more roading over here. Trying to get everything up and running. 71 science and turn 71. Did just get strong here. How far are we to 7 laws? That will be pretty decisive. Looks like we're getting phalanx now. So monasticism and citizenship should be 7 laws for us. So that early game machinery also helping despite this pretty heavy forced. So yeah. If you want to jump on as a co-caster, Sean, by all means, you're welcome to join. Let me know. Alrighty, let's see here. Pretty big unit bank for Egypt. Lots of resources. What's our worker count? 6 workers. That's not very many. 6 to 6 though, so no eco advantage for either player really. What's our improvement count? No worries. 48 to 29. So despite having fewer cities, Egypt has almost double the improvements. So it's pretty big. Pretty big difference. So better economy, better science, and better orders for Egypt, and they have reached parity on military score. In fact, they are now ahead. So I think things are looking good for Egypt. Managed to hold the early aggression, and yeah. And they bought some orders on, I guess, their early schemer. Just 2 order buys. So we had a tactician into a schemer. So this event is a trap because it has aesthetic, which is really bad, and insane, which is really bad. So you definitely never ever want to. you never want to take this because the chance of getting either, like, you've got about a 40% chance of getting one of 2 terrible things, which is a lot. And yeah, it's just a little bit of opinion. So do not take that event. I've taken it and regretted it when I got aesthetic, and I've seen people regret it when they get insane. It's just really, really bad. 2 years to battle line. We do have a bit of iron. We do have a bunch of training. So maybe we're going to hold back and upgrade axes to maces. You can also upgrade spears, but I think you kind of want the spears for light chariot reduction. So, right, a light chariot does 8 damage to a spear and takes 8 damage back. And a maceman actually does less. It does 6 damage to a light chariot and takes 6 damage back. So, yeah, spears are better than macemen against light chariots. Macemen deal 8 damage to chariots and take 5 damage back, whereas spears deal 9 damage to chariots and take 4 damage back. So yeah, spears are superior to macemen against mounted units. So that said, macemen do give you anti-infantry 1, so macemen will chew up any slingers or axes that are around. So see, a maceman does 9 to an axe and only takes 4 back, and does 12 to a slinger and only takes 4 back as well. So very, very powerful against the non-mounted units, but kind of underwhelming compared to a spearman against mounted units. So macemen are very strong if your opponent has a very infantry-heavy army. So there's really nothing to deal with them. But against a sort of hybrid army, which we've got here from Egypt, where we've got some infantry, we've got some ranged, we've got some siege, we got some mounted. It's a little trickier. All right, so we're dealing with this raid back here. We've cleaned this up, killing this stuff. We're producing units everywhere we can. Going for battle line, getting slingers going. Slingers. Presume we're going to try to upgrade into maces. We are very far away from any laws. We don't have aristocracy. We just have labor force. We don't have navigation. Don't have sovereignty. Don't have machinery. Don't have forestry. I don't think this is a particularly good land consolidation map. I guess there are a couple groves around here somewhere. Honey, silk, 3, 4, 5. I always think ebony is a grove, but it's not. 5-ish, so not amazing, but not bad. Yeah. So looks like he's fallen back to Gaza and is chopping here, which is smart to make it harder for Egypt to basically make his slingers do more damage. Unfortunately, it also means that the light chariots will do more damage and the onagers will do more damage on that clear terrain. Curious to see whether Egypt will take the bait and take Nimrod. No real reason why they shouldn't. But at this point, Egypt definitely has a pretty big advantage, despite being behind 5 cities to 6. Let's see what Egypt does this turn. Looks like they are going to go for Nimrod here. Apologies, grabbing a snack. Yeah. No way for Syria to really hold this. It is a champion city, and it does have walls. No, it doesn't have walls. It's just a champion city, and champion cities are tanky. That extra defense, 70%. Interesting, it doesn't break it down for me. 50% of that is from champions. Extra 50% city defense. It's going to take a while to plink down this city. But it's pretty undefended, so he's being pretty cautious too. Putting up onagers, which really lets him defend a lot of positions. 1 year away from Mason. Doomed, which is awkward. Who can be heir here? We could have a 12-year-old. Who could have a schemer, maybe? I think his wife would become the regent. It's pretty rough, though, because this will be our 4th ruler on turn 74. So it's a little rough. Only 42, so that's also pretty early for Doomed. Other options, you could go Commander. Schemer, Diplomat, Orator. His family's friendly-ish. Not sure. Could go Scholar, try to fix his science issues. Yeah, or just go with the 12-year-old and see what you roll. Always a little risky. Just remember not to take any ambitions while you have a regent. Unless you can fulfill them during the regent service. We should see a bunch of basement upgrades. We have maybe enough for 4 basement upgrades. Which is something. It doesn't have visibility of that onager. All right, let's take a look here. Just researched phalanx, so we now have spears on the Egyptian side. Sorry, so portcullis, compo, monasticism, hydraulics. Probably go for monasticism for law number 6. We also have state religion, which is not really spread to very many cities. And we are going for monasticism. Egypt has some pretty good shrines, including the Order Shrine. It's always good to get poly, build the Order Shrine in all your cities. All right, we are hitting Nimrod. We do have a Zealot leader as well, so our previous leader also died, so Egypt is now on their 3rd leader. Syria is on their 4th leader. And we have a 37-year-old Zealot, so now all our units can move further. Look at how far this unit can move. Zealot-powered chariots are terrifying. And obviously with Force March, can move all the way over here, which is really wild. Do we have any light? This is, of course, on the leader chariot, so it can move further. Check out the range on this light chariot. It can move all the way over here with the Force March. It could get almost all the way across the map. Zoom, zoom. And Egypt continue to print units. Their economy can definitely support it. They're already strong in their rider seat, so they should be able to get to mounted lancers pretty easily, and are not too far off strong. 1 year away from strong here. So they could be producing light chariots here as well, and eventually mounted lancers. So once they get 7 laws, they have 2 cities capable of building their unique unit, which is pretty good. And Syria does not have an answer to a mounted lancer. Mounted lancers are terrifying. Fortunately for Syria, there's a lot of forest on this map, but cities are not in forests by definition. So yeah. And of course, mounted lancers can just zoom past you, snipe your workers, and just basically be really, really annoying. So yeah, looks like we're sacking Nimrod, using it to buy time for presumably this Maceman upgrade here from Assyria. And I'm curious to see what they will tech after they get Maceman. I don't think Macemen are going to really change the battle for Nimrod. Maybe, I don't know. Egypt really hasn't concentrated their forces. I would like to see Egypt pull everything together, although they're kind of massing here as well in case, I guess, Assyria pushes north, which kind of makes sense. I don't know. All right, we did get battle line on turn 73. We've got the choice of navigation, spoke trail, forestry, and citizenship. I would really be inclined to take navigation here. Serfdom will do you a world of good, and unfortunately, we're still dealing with these raids. I don't know when we're going to clean up the Danes and that barb camp. That's 3 cities. Egypt, this is, I think, as Cyan says, there's a once you have a surface area with your opponent. All right, the mysterious sword has disappeared, so we will not see that on this. And indeed, her mother, the schemer, will become the regent. Oh yeah, once you have surface area with your opponent will make it very hard for you to like go send a bunch of units to the back lines to clear or deal with raids. Yeah. I do not love these walls. This is an autonomous city. It's not an autonomous city. These walls are inexcusable in this city. No reason to build walls in this city. All right, so we do have our air, and we did upgrade 3 maces, which see what these maces do. As you can see, they do insane amounts of damage to the axes, but then really struggle against the chariot and the light chariot. Just not that effective, but pretty good against all the infantry in Egypt's army. Yeah, axemen. You do not want to be doing axemen into maces. It's pretty painful. Maces, yeah. Maces are very, very strong if you have lots of infantry. And yes, looks like we're going to have our regent schemer here. Just remember not to take any ambitions. It's the 4th leader, 5th leader. Technically 5th leader is the queen. But she'll be back. Curious to see what we'll go for. Philosophy, so expect something like zealot maybe. Possibly tactician. Still, fights are still pretty small, and there's lots of forest to hide in with ranged units. Though, yeah, opponent zealot's always good to have your own zealot. Don't really have good religious spread here. Yeah, 2 cities, so we're not going to be seeing very much zealot rushing. Don't love the spearmen all the way over here. Think about how many orders it's going to take. This is part of the reason I like making my capitals science cities, because they are generally, by definition, the city that's furthest away from your opponent. So any units produced there are going to take a long time in terms of orders and turns to get to the front. So if you just don't produce units there, if you don't have to, then you can use it for pure science. Obviously, sometimes you don't get a choice and you have to go military capital because you're under attack. But yeah. And still lots of family opinion issues with the patrons. Only 1 city. Don't love these walls here. Feel like should be able to get these gems upgraded, and then, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not sure why the patrons are so pissed off. Failed to protect our workers. Well, we don't even have an ambassador, so that's also making life a little harder for us. Even though opinion Egypt is pretty good, Egypt does has vision of at least a couple of these upgrades, or one of these upgrades, so they know. They did see that Maceman there. Did they not pick a tech? I thought they picked Manassas in there. Now, so for that, I don't mean don't build units. I mean build units in your forward cities. Or units that are closer, like your capital is the furthest way. I know you're just promise to the people here. You could enact guilds, kill military units, or take this. Realistically, you can probably get this one, kill 10 military units, but I tend to trade charisma for discipline, mostly because discipline's pretty good. Horsebane, steadfast, brave. Brave is going to be particularly good. And frugal, horsebane. I don't think we've seen any horses from Assyria, so would be inclined to pick brave here. Yeah, all the Egyptian families are pagan. Conveniently, no real risk of converting anywhere. Pretty solidly pagan, and the pagans love them. But Judaism, for some reason, is the state religion, which is I'm not sure why. It's an Assyrian religion, and there's only one city that has it. All right, Nimrod will fall this turn. Should fall, maybe. Maybe. Need to find 2 more points of damage somewhere. That'll do it. You can definitely capture it this turn if you want to. The axe, the chariot, and the light chariot. Yeah, sorry, no subtitles. Not sure how Juliet set that up. It was definitely cool with the translated subtitles. '59 science. So we had a pretty big drop in science with our leader dying. So both sides are pretty. See the big drop from Egypt, 71 down to 55. Egypt still has a 600-point science aggregate lead right now. I don't know if I would call it a Maceman rush on turn 73. Problem gambler. I feel like if you want to do Maceman, you wanted to get them well before turn 73. Especially if you're passing up laws to do it, as Assyria has done. They've kind of taken an odd tech tree. I don't know that I would get spears if I'm getting Maceman rush either. You just go. Like, if you're doing a Maceman rush, then like, what are some of these texts doing? Like, did you really need drama for a Maceman rush? What for? Did you need polis? What for? Arguably, did you need husbandry? What for? Labor force, I think, is defensible. Probably would have gotten aristocracy as well, and navigation. Okay, in terms of their science, it is a rush. All right, that's fair. We did not take Nimrod, which I think I would have definitely taken it last turn, because it's a champion city, so it's annoying to take, and also it's not being defended. And now if you don't take it, you have the problem that you could have some Macemen get in here and defend it. And I don't know that Egypt has a good answer to Macemen and forests. So, of course, they took the city. Yeah, so this is a problem with taking cities, right? When your opponent has units that could defend the city, you're spending orders attacking a city, especially a champion city, which is hard to do damage to. It does feel like the city's being sacrificed, though. So, but I mean, Assyria is basically trading this city's hit points to get time. Now they have Macemen. They're getting forestry, which I don't understand. I think I would strongly get navigation here, just for more orders. Pretty inconsequential sandstorm back here, and we really need food. Surprisingly low on food. Plop down some farms. I guess it's not a particularly food-heavy map. not sure. We do have husbandry, but we never got this cattle up. So definitely some... Yeah, we could definitely go improve that cattle. Very light on workers. I thought we had more workers than... Wow, we only have 4 workers in this area? That feels really light on workers. How many workers did we produce? We produced 6, so we must have lost some workers. Oh yeah, we did see some family opinion. Maybe there were some roading workers that died up here. But yeah. Patrons still being unhappy. Fortunately, we haven't had any rebels here. Moving this mason forward. Building a mason here. This champ seat. Good old 23 training. I'd love to see another barracks in this champ seat, which is what we're doing. One apprentice officer as well. Syria has some insane shrines. So we'd love to see like the lumber mill shrine in this city. That gives you 4, right? And also the training shrine in this city. Where are... Oh, right. We built divination, but we never built a shrine. Okay. That's, yeah, you definitely want to build shrines if you have divination. Especially Assyria. Assyria has, I would argue, the best shrines in the game. Kush I think is close. They share 3, but I would take the lumber mill shrine over the growth shrine. Although, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty close. Their other 3 shrines are identical. It's the civic shrine, the training shrine, and the order shrine. But yeah, you definitely want to grab some shrine like champ seat, particularly because it's that plus 50% scales off base training. Plopping down the training shrine and the lumber mill shrine, especially if you're teching forestry, is a good call. All right, we're seeing our leader assigned as a general, which I don't know that I love, given that she's a regent, so she's not going to be general for very long. Continuing to attack this city, and looks like we will take Nimrod this turn. Curious to see whether we will see Assyria challenge it. I assume not, because if they wanted to challenge it, last turn would have been the time to challenge it. Yeah. So it's going to be pretty interesting here. So Egypt has reclaimed another, or I guess this was originally an Assyrian city, because Assyria settled forward here as Gaza was their 4th city on like turn 25 or something like that. And then this city fell around turn 28. So some pretty early aggression, right? If you've got your opponent founding a city on your borders on turn 28, that's a little awkward. Especially on a map which I would feel pretty safe on this map, wide. I don't know if Egypt scouted it. Always a good idea to keep an eye on where your opponent's armies are, what they're doing. Especially as Rider Nation, it is not a bad idea to just send 1 scout at your opponent and figure out where is their army and what is it doing, just so you can know what's coming your way. But yeah, this is looking pretty defensible. Obviously, Nimrod fell, but like I don't see Gaza falling unless you slow push with more onagers that you have. I guess you got 1 onager here. You definitely don't want to fight in the forest. Your forces are kind of split between north and south. I don't know. Egypt's kind of switching to some science here. Some more officers, which is always good. Also, not too many. Well, they have 4 cities with paganism. They spread their shrines out, which is also helping make all the families go pagan. I just need monasticism and citizenship for 7 laws. So if I'm Egypt here, I don't know that I want to attack into this. If I'm Assyria, though, I don't know that I want to attack. All right, I guess we're going. That is technically outside onager range, so And this is why I don't think Fortify was worth it. Yep, it's painful. Bye-bye, Axeman. And that is right outside onager range. Okay. Problem is, if you stand on this tile, then you get blasted by at least one onager. This tile is also safe. If you can another maceman, you do not. Spears. I thought spears can upgrade into maceman. Can't they? Nope, spears go into pikes. Spears cannot upgrade into maceman, my mistake. Axes can upgrade into maceman, and maceman can upgrade into pikes, but spears cannot upgrade into maceman. Right? Is that correct? That maceman can upgrade into pikes? Yes. So macemen are an axeman only upgrade. They do not upgrade spears. Yeah, so I guess we're just getting this maceman slowly moving over there. We're building another maceman at the champ seat. Decent road network. Okay, well, we've made an attack and are counterattacking now, which feels a little odd. But this feels a little scary to me, honestly, because we've got a bunch of mounted units that will do a lot of damage to these macemen. And these macemen are standing in the open, and they can be routed. So, yeah, like this light chariot, you can get some pretty good flanks on this, and there's no onager support for Syria. So I think Egypt should be able to kill all three of these macemen. I'm going to be bold and say that. Definitely would have been maybe worth positioning these forward a little earlier. This was very conservative positioning, which now is letting this counterattack not be punished by units. But yeah, you can definitely grab this guy and go to town with some flanking attacks. And I think you should be able to pull units down. It's going to be a little tight on orders, but you got some training. All right. I don't know how I feel about this, but okay. Unless you're planning to flank, maybe? This is an 8 damage. This guy's stronger, so yeah, this guy does more damage here. It's got tough and fierce, so okay. We need to find 11 damage. We have 8. All right, the axe will deliver 5. And now we route with this, I presume. Presume this unit routes here. Guess we want to route with this unit instead. This unit is the stronger unit. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that because this unit is better and has a zealot. But okay. I feel like okay, we're gonna attack with that and attack with that. 18. So you need to find 5 damage somewhere. I don't think you have the orders to find 5 damage. We're gonna need to buy orders. Yeah, you can force you can. Yeah, you're gonna buy a couple orders, and then you should at least be able to kill 2 macemen. I think if you had managed your attacks a little bit better, might have been able to kill more macemen. I would like to see these onagers be moved forward as well to give you cover. But for sure, you want to kill this maceman. Might be worth draining your training pool. Okay, I don't love that force march. It would have been better to pull this unit down. That would not have required a force march. Now you're going to buy 2 orders to kill that. Yep. That, and then might as well deal damage. Buy 1 more order and deal some damage, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. kind of killed your order pool, but we got 2 Macemen dead, so that's pretty bad for Syria. And yeah, I don't like this counterattack by Syria. Attacking with your strongest units like that, unsupported, means they can get picked off. Imagine if those Macemen had gone forward with some spears around them. It would have been harder for Egypt to touch them if the Macemen were protected. So curious to see whether Assyria backs off here. They lost 2 Macemen in exchange for an axe, which is not a good trade. We will see what Assyria does. Do we have a choice of 16-year-old? No one to tutor our 16-year-old frugal philosophy student. Curious to see what we'll get. Our choices are going to be tactician, zealot, judge, builder, or scholar. Zealot, judge, also very good. Honestly, builder, considering we have 4 workers. All right, we're seeing some counterattacks here. Okay, goodbye, chariot. I guess Syria's gonna fight here, but they're kind of out of units, which is a little awkward. Okay, move the Maceman down. Okay, so we killed that. So we killed 2 chariots, but then we don't really have anything else. I guess this Maceman can move over this way, and then we have a slinger here. Okay, we're gonna do that. Okay, so we killed 2 chariots and an axe. Unfortunately, everything is very vulnerable here. Like, insanely vulnerable. And we are moving that mace forward. I'd love to see these. I would have loved to see these. A quiet repositioning last turn with these onagers would have been huge. Just because now you could have those onagers in play. I think Egypt still has enough to deal with this, because we've got... They kind of split their forces over here. I do have a vision of this guy. Maybe they just go gank that guy, I don't know. Axes will do fine against them. This mace in the forest is going to be a problem. Let's see what Egypt does here. They have started the mausoleum, which is a very interesting choice of first wonder. I think I would have taken museum personally, not mausoleum. I don't think point victory is like something we're going for, unless you really want guard on those units. I don't know. Jebel also would have been a choice, although you don't have good religion spread for that. Museum probably would have been my top choice out of the available wonders there. All right, so we've cleaned up the slinger. We do not have a good answer for this maceman, but we should be able to kill these spears. You'll want to put the axe there and then attack with this, so this tanks the maceman in some ways. You want to clean up the spears. And yeah, probably move this onager forward. Okay, good. Yep. It's a pretty defensible spot. Got a light chariot you can pull down here. The light chariot in the city. And then the axe. Yep. You can definitely... We pull this light chariot all the way over here and kill that. Okay, that works. Yeah, kind of also running out of units, but we do have some chariots over here. An axe. Might be worth marching with these axes down so that they're available next turn. Yeah, Syria's going to have... They might be able to kill this light chariot if they invest a lot, but then they're going to be in deep trouble because they'll be in onager fire. This unit, yeah. Macemen in forests are pretty terrifying. I have another maceman here, so I still feel like Egypt is going to be able to prevail here. And next turn, this will be in Egypt borders as well. A light chariot might be worth a training rush or a civics rush, honestly, just to get that out a turn earlier. I've kind of swapped to building apprentice officers everywhere. Yeah, I think I would probably get this light chariot over this way and then move this axe down here just to, yeah, because light chariot's so much mobility, right? I don't think we can kill anything else this turn, but I think just getting it over here would be good. We did move the axe. I don't move the axe here though, because this axe can just get obliterated by this. I think I would have probably moved it a little bit more back, but and we do have the light chariot moving over. Oh, okay. I definitely do not like that attack. I don't know what that accomplishes. It makes your light chariot very, very, very vulnerable there. Probably won't die, but it doesn't feel like you're going to kill that militia. So, all right, and then we upgraded this axe. Okay, to get Heckler. I don't see any generals, so I think at least it was a Heckler. Maybe it was Brave. I think it was hopefully Brave. All right, well, let's see what Assyria does. They could kill this light chariot if they want to. This does 9 damage. This does 7 damage. And then a slinger does the additional 2 necessary. So they could if they want to. Problem is that they will lose everything that kills that light chariot if they do. And indeed, as expected, this exposed light chariot is going to get attacked by a spear and then another spear, and effectively this light chariot is dead. So good tactical play here by Scrubisnki, and kind of a bad tactical play here. This light chariot should have come around further away, because yeah, you're making your unit very vulnerable here. They can force march and kill this. Yeah, tactics matter. There's a great tactics puzzle website. You can do some practice for tactics. Expecting a force march here, yep. Expected. And then, yep, as expected. So yeah, that light chariot is dead, having done very little. Had it been over here, it would have been much harder for Assyria to get to it. Not impossible, but would have been much harder, and also probably would have put them more out of position. You definitely don't want to serve units on your opponent. And like, what did that chariot did? It hit a mace. It hit a militia. Do we care about the militia? It didn't kill the militia. Yeah, so we just kind of threw away a light chariot, and also the axe has now taken unnecessary damage. If it had been over here, again, it could have still been attacked, but like a mace here is a lot more vulnerable than a mace there in the city. In fact, we might even lose the axe. I don't think we will, unless he uses a bunch of training, just because it's in the forest, so relatively defensible. I just don't see what else he's going to attack it with. We do have this maceman, which we could, in theory, force march over here had we not moved that maceman there, but we don't have the training for that. So, and we did not. We did move it. Okay, so we did move it a little bit. And say money, orders. Oh, we could get some orders or science. Probably I would take the science right now. It's definitely an interesting game. Not sure who's going to win. I think if Assyria had these sites cleared, they would be on 8 cities. As it is, they're on 5. And Egypt's cities are way better developed. Egypt has... How many workers does Egypt... Assyria only has 4 workers on turn 77, which is not enough workers. And they basically stopped their economy. These workers are all standing around. Worker doing nothing, worker doing nothing, worker doing nothing. If you only have 4 workers, those workers need to be doing work. All your workers are not doing anything. Obviously, it's fighting, but like, yeah. And forestry over navigation is a questionable choice. Okay, we took the science from that event. All right, maybe we're fishing for this card, the free longbow. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna get free longbows. That is going to be in 8 years, which is a long, long time. And yeah. I think I understand what Scrubisnki is trying to do. He's trying to do like a maceman into free longbow card rush, where you attack with those 2 free longbows and then a bunch of macemen. But he kind of, I don't know, didn't quite get the science output he needed for that. And Yeah, so if I am Egypt, what do I do? Probably get back with this dude, because I'd rather heal him than lose him. I don't think I'm attacking into this right now. I do have a pretty interesting spot here. I can put a onager on this hill. And I really like that, because that can hit the city, that can hit everything around the city. Conveniently, Assyria has chopped everything, and then you'll probably want to defend it with some slingers. You could also, if you had workers around, slam some forts down. This probably not a reason to fortify, but it's a little awkward because Egypt has his forces completely split between two, with Assyria in the middle. The other option is just YOLO and attack. I don't know. I really don't know what I would do in this situation. You can probably kill... All right, we're going back and retreating. You definitely don't want the onager exposed. You're getting another light chariot here. Guilds, that is a trap ambition, because that requires jurisprudence, and you really don't want to protect jurisprudence. Not right now. So that is a failed and trap ambition. Do not take that ambition unless you already have scholarship, or ideally already have jurisprudence. It is totally okay to decline ambitions. All right, we are doing some shuffling up there. I feel like Assyria's attack is kind of stalled out here. I don't see Egypt as taking this city, but man, if I'm Egypt, I am really tempted to put an onager on this, put slingers, and that is an Assyrian militia. You should kill the militia at least. But yeah, put some units around that and say, come fight over here. Let's fight. I expect Assyria won't fight. And then maybe put this one in the city, and then you can try to focus on these hills. These hills are going to be really powerful. You put an onager on this hill, you can hit every unit back there, but you're going to need to be able to defend that. And the problem is you have nothing that can stand to the macemen, especially in a forest. So might want to chop this scrub, or chop, I don't know. We don't have any workers nearby. We're also light on workers, 6 workers. We're starting a stronghold here. Okay. Not sure I love that, just because I guess it's a half order, or it's 0.7 orders, so that's not bad. Maybe I should consider more strongholds for orders, but we don't have horses there, so we can't build a unique unit. And what is the stronghold? Stronghold is 80 stone, so 80 stone for 0.7 orders. Not terrible. Maybe I should practice the diamond with strongholds, and I guess with the ranges nearby as well. Right, each one becomes 0.8 and 0.8. So, all right, let's see here. The rightful heir. She's a judge. She's really good for Syria. Yeah, I would totally truce out the Danes. Unfortunately, they have decided to just raid you right now, but it would be really great to peace them. Unfortunately, you don't have an ambassador. Judge would be really good. Have we bought orders? We've never bought orders. So, yeah. All right, so you're not going to be able to push into this city. It's going to be really hard to push into this city or this city. Egypt is eventually going to be able to slow push you with onagers into the city, and you're going to have problems. Because if you don't have onagers and your opponent has onagers, it is not a fun time for the person without onagers, because you either have to hope your opponent does have critical mass of onagers, which Egypt, if they had them together, would have critical mass, but with 2 over here and 2 over here, I think that's not quite critical mass. Of course, the onager, if it were in a city, would also be really... It's hard to kill an onager in a city. But for attacking, you probably want like 4 or 5. Egypt probably needs... I don't know what to deal with this. So Can Egypt even build warriors? No, we don't have warriors because we have axes and spears. Yeah, warriors would actually not be bad because they would be cheap buffer. There's no route on the enemy side, so they could just buffer your onagers. If your opponent can't reach the onagers, they're defended. So yeah, let's see what. Looks like Assyria is not resolving events. They're going to get another raid. From here, they are chopping and maybe starting this cattle. Yeah, they're slowly fixing their food economy here. You have one improvement under construction. Free longbow. Yeah, so I think this was like an intended free longbow rush. If it was, I'm a little confused at husbandry and drama. And also forestry and polis. Because if you're going battle line, B line, then aristocracy is probably worth getting because centralization is a shit ton of science. Centralization right now would be 6 extra science, which is more than 10%. Can always check here. Centralization is 4.8 science. Okay, well, I guess we've got a bunch of discontent in this city. Yeah. So, all right. Well, still hasn't resolved the events, but I assume he will let the queen take the throne. Oh no. He told the young judge to buzz off. Oh, no. Well, minus 300. That ain't going to end well. Plotting, disappointed, and bypassed. That is not going to end well. Also, I think you probably prefer a judge here to a schemer. Even if you just hold court for it, you can use that civics to rush Maceman. And eventually you're going to want some laws, right? Right? Or just like, no one law in Syria? I don't know. Laws are good. And you've got the road network. Battering rams are really great. And Egypt does not have a good answer for battering rams. I guess chariots, but you have spears, so you can handle chariots. And they don't have an answer for siege towers. Because chariots don't do much to siege towers. Show off what a siege tower does. I guess siege tower is probably a little premature. Yeah, siege tower does 7. And maybe chariots are a little better against siege towers than I thought. They deal 5. And battering rams, I guess, do gotta get eaten by chariots. 4 versus 8. So, but if you can protect them, they're pretty good. All right, so I like this kind of reposition here by Egypt. It's going to be pretty hard for Assyria to attack into this with onagers well backed up. Right? They can't reach the onagers very easily. You can't go around the onagers and kill the city. I guess they could, in theory, go around the onager, but they'd be like going, like, I guess this could. Try to find something that can move. This could, in theory, move all the way over here to hit this city, but, you know, and that'd be out of onager range. But yeah, you definitely don't want to do that because you'd be putting the army at your back, basically. Now, this is kind of interesting because we've got military buildup going over here. And Egypt is getting a monasticism here, which will continue to cement their order economy advantage, which is getting pretty substantial here. We've had 300 more orders for Egypt. And they are continuing to build their economy. Notice Egypt is having all its workers doing work. 7 improvements in construction, one of which is this Ador Burzen Mir by that Zoro disciple. So, yeah. Combat. I think those units stronger. Definitely love the 100 training upgrade if you have the training to spare. And we're at plus 200 training a turn. It's definitely good to throw a couple orders into upgrades, make units a little bit tankier. For ranged mounted units, because they can't get strike, combat is particularly good. Some scouting. Let's see what's coming up. Love this. Good vision from Egypt as well. They can see anything that comes out of this champion city. Would love to see one more move forward, I think. Just to get a little bit of vision of what comes out of that champion city. But this is good enough. You'll see anything coming along the road. So this is very good vision for Egypt. They can see any reinforcements that Assyria is sending, and importantly, they see all there is one lonely slinger on the way and nothing else. Similar naive. So Egypt definitely has a advantageous position at this point. Yeah, there was some, from what I understand from Sean, there was pretty bold aggression from Assyria. Like taking this city on turn 28 is that's very aggro. And if we look at the military power graph, we can see that at one point it was really scary. 270 power to 40. 40 is one unit, 4 strength unit versus something like 6 units in a militia. That's scary. But Egypt has clawed their way back into it and is way ahead in tech. This is a pretty big science difference here. 700 science, and also, more importantly, way ahead in laws. They've invested their tech into laws, and Assyria really hasn't. And Assyria also just told their judge heir to buzz off and are running with the schemer. And that judge heir is not going to be happy about this. Minus 300. Curious to see what she's going to do. Definitely not getting any yields from her. Really surprised that took the usurper. Usurper is usually not worth taking just because it pisses off all your families. Minus 20. And I don't think this schemer is worth usurping for. A loyal schemer with 5 wisdom and 4 discipline. Like, nothing to write home about. So, whereas a frugal judge, given that we, and also we have never bought orders from our schemer, and I guess, I don't know, I guess we should have made truce with the Danes if we're doing, yeah, I just don't know. Longbows, unless Assyria protects those longbows, they're not going to be very effective. If they do protect them, though, it can be a challenge to deal with. Oh, they're poking this way. Oh, wow, this is really bold. Okay, so notice the difference in vision here. Assyria just attacked blindly into the north. No, I think Assyria, they lost their schemer with 6 wisdom. Yeah, their science graph dipped a little bit. That was the schemer death there. And Egypt also lost a pretty good leader, and Assyria was pretty much character science. This hasn't updated yet. It should update. I think at some point. Yeah, no, these walls are completely non-defensible. Like, just no, it's not an autonomous city, but like this is a suicidal attack. All right, so they had no vision. They only have 1 scout, right? Yeah, 1 scout. It's sitting here, which is not doing a lot of work. Another scout here would have been really great to see what's going on in the city. You definitely don't want to move units in blind. Like this slinger is just going to get blown up. Or sorry, not the slinger. The spearman is just going to get blown up by these onagers. Like you don't move units in blindly like that. Manasseh discovered Egypt, expecting I don't know actually tech-wise here. Drama, okay, for the cycle, for the 7 law, I can see that. You could also just go doctrine for the 7 law. But you probably want citizenship. I don't know. Not sure. Actually, not sure what I would take. Sure, what I take here. But yeah, this dude's gonna die, and this militia ain't gonna fare much, or this maceman ain't gonna fare better. So I presume that maceman's gonna turn around. If you want it really cute, you can go kill the maceman. You can definitely kill the maceman if they want to. I think I probably would have taken doctrine over drama just because it's our 7th law, and you could do drama, and then hope that you have full citizenship. Citizenship is 400. Doctrine, yeah, probably too early. I mean, there's no maybe there's no point getting doctrine with without citizenship for divine rule. And hopefully we see polytheism adopted here. We don't have the civic sport. The match is definitely getting exciting. At this point, I am feeling like Egypt is in control of the match. But obviously, it's been a rough game for them. They had some early aggression, but they're actually up 6 to 5 cities now because Assyria never cleared their side of the map. So, and I don't think Egypt is ever going to give them tempo to do that. So this may swing back to Egypt here. MongrelEyes may be able to prevail. It's definitely not over yet. They don't really have a good answer to macemen, and they don't have a good answer to longbows once they show up. So at the same time, Assyria does not have a good answer to onagers, especially onagers in defensive positions like this. It's very hard to attack into these onagers. So I don't see Assyria taking a city. And if Egypt wants, they can put some onagers on hills, and that's going to force... Like, they don't quite have critical mass of onagers yet, but I don't love this apprentice acolyte here. I don't feel like you should be apprentice acolyte. You should be light charioting or onagers. Onagering. You already have strong. You don't need more culture in that city. Unless you're trying to go for legendary, which there's not really a good legendary option. There's no rivers in this map, so no Colosseum. Getting some monasteries. Assume we're going to slam down Poly next turn and put order shrines in all our 6 cities for the 3 orders. Do the stone for that, and yeah, our workers are ready to do that. Getting another stronghold here. Okay. There's Champ City. Do a maceman in 4 turns. This is a little awkward to attack into because you don't have anything to deal with macemen and forests. Like, literally nothing. But outside of forests, like I might almost want to just take a worker and clear all these forests. Unfortunately, probably not worth doing that because the forests are also your defense against longbows. So I don't know if Egypt realizes the longbow card is coming in 5 years. It's going to spawn all the way over here, though. It's going to be a while. Hunt. Okay. First hunt here. Don't mind that, given the food shortage. This is like a barbarian raid. I'm very confused what this is. Oh, these barbarians have swapped to Danes. So this does happen in the late game after turn 50. This used to be a barbarian site. Now it's a Danish site. There is a chance for barbarian camps to convert starting on turn 50. All right. Well, sorry, I'm missing action over here. All right. Assyria is going in. And they killed a slinger, which is interesting. They feel like Egypt. So this is the problem with Egypt having its forces split like this. These forces can't help. This forest is going to make, like, light chariots just don't do a lot of damage to macemen and forests. So they're playing hiding in the forest, and even the onagers. Like, let's see, 6, 4, 2, 3. So that's 15 damage. 1, 1. Yeah, we can't kill a maceman in a forest. We have nothing to kill it with. Yeah, this forest is a problem. You definitely, as a general rule, you should almost always clear forest that is right next to your city, just because you don't want a unit to be able to stand in a forest and hit a city and not be able to hit it with ranged attacks. This blind attack didn't do too badly, and also wasn't blind because they had a scout here. That one, they didn't have a scout here. right, so we lost the slinger here. We don't have a good way of killing this. Pretty sure we can easily kill the spearman though, and probably should do that. I guess you're kind of inviting them in here. Okay. Yeah, honestly, I would probably take out the spear. What does this do? This does 9 damage. That does 6. This one does 7, so that's 16. You just need to find 4 damage, which, yeah, could find with both of these guys, something like that. Not sure. Would love to see light chariots. Ballista would be really useful if we had machinery, but we don't. Or sorry, hydraulics. We have machinery. Can kill the spear. Nice turn. Problem is, do you want to fight here or not? I think backing up like this so that they are forced to come in. I think part of the problem is they can just go start walloping on the city, but like I don't think they're going to be able to take the city, so I'm not sure. It's definitely a interesting tactical position here. To me, this feels a little bit aggressive by Syria, but if they're not going to be punished for it, then it works, right? I probably would try to punish it for it by killing the spear. That might just make more macemen, and I'd probably use an axe for my trouble. But like, Syria has 3 macemen in the area, so yeah, 3 macemen enforced is a problem. Chariots are actually the best answer to macemen that Egypt has right now, so that's another thing they could be building here. They could be building normal chariots, so light chariots. Because axes don't do anything against macemen. Slingers, yeah. Ballista are amazing because ballista do insane amounts of damage to infantry like macemen. We can show off with the cool overlay. Ballista does 10 damage to a maceman, which is a lot of damage. I guess it'd only be 5 damage in the forest. So a chariot is equivalent to a ballista in the forest. But if you ever catch a maceman out of the forest, I don't know, I tend to like siege units personally. So we're continuing big strongholds. Love this diamond pattern for extra orders. That's giving us 0.7 orders for that stronghold. So always worth building diamonds, and I guess worth getting strongholds. And if you want to get really cute, you could put a, obviously, maybe not here, but like you could put a range here, and then that stronghold would give you, I think, 0.8 orders, and put another range here. That garrison will give you 0.8, so it becomes a 1.6 orders a city. So if you get that citadel as well, I tend to only try to do I guess it's worth doing the diamond if you can. Didn't quite do it here for some reason. So this stronghold's only giving us 0.6. So, but yeah. Drama. Not sure I love drama. I feel like, well, if we get citizenship next turn, I guess drama is defensible as a hand cycle. Because citizenship is 400 and drama plus citizenship. The problem is there's a lot of stuff in the draw pile. And we would probably want the free light chariots too. So that's why I might be tempted to take doctrine to get to 7 laws now. Because that is, I'm 1 law short. And what law did Egypt take? Egypt still, they didn't have the civics for it. Okay. So no punishment for Assyria for killing those units. I don't expect them to come in and try to kill this. Right? Because then they would start getting blasted by these onagers. Surprised we didn't even blast these. These onagers should have fired at them at least to remind them that they're there and deal a little bit of damage. Really curious to see what Assyria does here. Yeah, longbows are going to be a problem. Longbows in this forest can hit this city and can tank onager fire pretty easily. Onagers just don't do a lot of damage to longbows in forests. Show off This would be... A longbow does 8 damage to an onager. Onager does 4 damage to a longbow. That's going to be 2 damage in a forest. So, yeah. You can... Again, this is why you don't want forests near your cities, because... yeah. All right, we're going in. We're saying, you know, I don't care about your onagers. I am just going to start killing things. Like this spear. Don't know how I feel about the militia there. Okay, I guess we're just sacrificing militia, but okay, we killed an axe. This onager, the problem with this militia now is it actually lets this onager do something, which is splash. Oh wow, we're just going for... Okay, I do not agree killing this. You should have been hitting this onager. But yeah, we're all up in their grill. I do think this is a little bit overextended because we have some light chariots back here. And yeah, these macemen are... I think if Egypt plays correctly tactically, they should be able to kill the macemen. Again, the problem is all their forces are up here. I don't know that I'd be building a worker in that city right now. We'll get a light chariot out, which we should be able to move down here. I think Egypt has a way to kill these 2 onagers. Because this onager can get hit, or sorry, these 2 macemen. This onager can hit that maceman. This onager can't hit the maceman directly, but can splash the maceman by hitting the slinger or the militia. So that gets you 11 damage on that maceman. And then this can come over here, and this slinger can hit 4. That's 15 damage, and then this one can come here and hit for 5. So that definitely kills that maceman. And you have this... You can also just obliterate the spearman if you want. It is a little troubling here. Oh wow, we're actually going after the onager as well. This is some pretty heavy pressure from Assyria, but Egypt has not unified their forces, which is a problem for them. All right, Egypt just got drama. Did get citizenship, so fully expecting citizenship here. That would be Law 7, so that does save a little bit of time over Doctrine. They got lucky with their roll. So yeah, should get citizenship here, and should get poly and slam down shrines everywhere. Order shrines into mono. And honestly, I think I would probably just go Divine Rule and Paganism. All right, let's see here. We are splashing the militia. Hopefully we'll kill Spaceman. Oh, we're route chaining the militia. Love this. Love route chain. That, I think that chariot came from north. Yep. Now we can splash this, right? This is already at 15 damage, so not quite enough. Not quite enough. We need to put a point of damage into that. All right, that attacked. We're going to be 1 point short. Continuing the route chain. Don't have a great source of damage. Can this guy move all the way from over here? Again, light chariot mobility is just so good. Look at how far these things can move. Wait. Wasn't there a... Oh, you're going this way. Okay. Enabling flanking this. Oh, I love this. We're gonna go this way. Got 18 damage, so we're gonna go this way. Maybe? Kill the maceman. You could flank into this, and then... So the beauty is if you go this way, you're getting flanking damage, and then you get flanking damage again because you're going to have the onager. Yep. Yes. Oh, 1 point. Need 1 point of damage from somewhere. We do have another one of these guys. So yeah, both macemen dead. Really nice tactical play. Not sure I would position the light chariot right next to the spearman, but sure. Boom. Beautiful, beautiful counterattack there. We killed macemen, 2 macemen, 2 militia, and a slinger. This is why route is so powerful. It really is such a force such a force multiplier, because this chariot was able to kill 5 units, which meant this chariot effectively attacked 5 times this turn. Like, this is why I love route so much, because it lets you get more out of your units, right? Like, the chariot effectively attacked 5 times. It's like there were 5 chariots there. But there's only 1. All right. That's pretty much all our orders here. Don't really mind delaying poly at this point. Don't have any workers free, but we definitely like, all right, we're using our last order to get that. So really nice counterattack here. This spear is kind of trapped. GG, I think you got me. We'll concede. Okay, wow. Scrubisnki is conceding. Definitely don't think the game is quite over, but I guess he feels like his rush has failed and doesn't really want to play out a slow eco game, which he will probably lose, honestly, considering he's behind in science and also workers. And yeah, that's a pretty route chains. Route chains are pretty rough. We can see the big drop in, but yeah, exciting game session. We will try to get both players into Discord here. Yes, I think Scrubisnki is correct that the quick rush works great if you can hold, but if you can't, or rather, if your opponent holds your rush, you are in trouble if you have nothing to follow it up. So I guess that will conclude this game here, assuming we will see the surrender here shortly. Longbow. Yeah, I partly was surprised he went in before the longbows, because this attack would have been a lot stronger with longbows. All right. Would you all like to chat in Hanging Gardens? Let's see if they want to chat in Hanging Gardens. All right. So yeah, pretty interesting game. Let me know if you have questions, chat, for our players, and I will do my best to ask them questions. Really impressive hold from the rush. I think at one point, MongrelEyes had lost a city on turn 28. Congratulations, MongrelEyes, on the victory.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself. Congrats.
Good. Good. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the speaker. There we go.
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear, and I assume folks on chat on YouTube streaming can as well.
Amazing. Yeah, that was nerve-wracking earlier.
Yeah, I didn't see part one, but from what I understand, like he founded Gaza pretty early on like turn 20 something, and then took Iken from you on turn 28.
I thought I was losing by like turn 20 something because all of a sudden he had an army of like 5 units to my 2, and then Axis showed up like 3 turns later, and I just kept having to retreat.
Yeah. Hey,
Scrubisnki. Yeah, you are.
Hello.
We were just talking about the early rush. You founded Gaza as your 4th city on very far on Egypt's side of the map.
Well, I've got 2 losses, and I lost both of them the same way. I tried a really hyper-aggressive start, which is great if you could like grab it and hold it or push all the way to the end. But if you can't, you wind up on their side of the board trying to defend when they've got, only to go a few squares, and you got to go all the way across the board to support it.
Yeah.
And so he did a great job of holding ground on that 3rd city and built up enough. He tried the first time, didn't get through, but then the second time, once he got the onagers, I was in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Did you find Judaism, or because I swore that I was gonna do it, and then this little event thing popped up that said that you had done it. Is that a event that I just haven't seen before, or were you actually chasing Judaism?
What I did, and I'm not even sure if this was a good move, but I went to husbandry, got a couple of horses, and then rushed both of the ranchers.
Oh, okay. So you basically beat me then on it by a turn, because I was trying to get it, and then all of a sudden some event popped up that you had Judaism, and I was just super confused.
Yeah, that's a new compensation event. So if you would have found it at that term, there's a dice roll, and like it's a coin flip basically, and as compensation for losing the coin trip, they give you a Jewish disciple.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Because I was wondering, because right after I did it, you had Judaism. I thought I was going to have an advantage there because I'd have the only religion. But then it's like, then we each had one city, and there's no way I could had time to build a disciple. So it's like, it didn't spread. And I still had 3 cities that I could have taken, but that was another thing. I had to send everything up to the front line, so I couldn't even take those other cities. I was making a move on one right when you attack, so I had to divert. So it was like every time I thought I was going to get somewhere, you like attacked at just the perfect time. So good job.
Thank you. I mean, I didn't have much choice, right? Like,
Yeah,
I had
nowhere else
4
to go.
cities. I knew I wasn't doing anything with 4 cities. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I could do differently. I know that I knew it was a roll of the dice, and by turn 20, I was all the way across the board, and I thought if I got the champions there and I could pump out enough to knock on your back heels, but then you went with the laws route and you came up with those chariots and it was just before, or I got the spearmen. I mean, everything was like 2 or 3 turns away from me being able to hold something, and you just made the perfect move. So I mean, hats off.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a fun game. It was a very stressful game. Like I literally thought I was losing by like turn 20 something when you were just plowing through my territory. You know.
There was
But yeah,
little
I
things
don't
that you
know.
did
Like I
too,
gotta
like you
actually
moved
watch
your
some of those.
leader, like when I went down to that lower city and I brought my tactician hero, but you brought your leader out. If I could have caught him, then you probably couldn't have held. I mean, there was just like so many little things that could have swung it
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah. Like I've never successfully pulled off the full rush. I mean, I know there's games, from the tournament stuff that are up where people do it, but at best it's like I'll rush and then just kind of use that and then just churn science or something like that. But yeah, I've never been able to do the rush successfully. So I don't know. Alcars, do you have any
It's
do you have any tips
it's
on
hard
that?
on a map this wide. I think it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
I think rushing can be really potent when you start a lot closer to your opponent, but on a map this wide, I don't know that I would try it, just because you've got like 50 tiles between each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think this map is just not particularly great for rushing with the distance on it.
This was a weird mountain pass
Yeah,
map
Mountain Pass
too.
has no rivers, so
Yeah, but it also like it had very little actually mountain borders. Like
yeah,
for a mountain pass map, it was really wide open.
yeah, it's very open. Yeah, sometimes it's
Yeah,
walled off. Yeah, there's obviously lots of variation, but
totally.
yeah. What was your plan, Scrubisnki, with the Maceman tech and the longbows? Were you trying to like do a timing with a free longbow card, or was it just like
I
compensation?
was starting to feel like I didn't know. First of all, I didn't scout very well, so I was thinking if I held back and I brought the longbows up and I had the maceman, it might have been enough to counter his onager advantage, and if I could use the spearmen to keep his horses at bay, it might have been able to take that cities or those cities back. But yeah, then the problem is, okay, great, I would have had 2 longbowmen and it would take me 20 orders each to get them back across the board. So I mean, I had the roads, but it just wasn't enough. So I think I'll probably not try that rush again, because it's both incredibly effective and incredibly risky at the same time.
Yeah, rushes are very hard. And did you scout the rush at all? I didn't catch part 1 MongrelEyes.
No, what happened was I sent out my scout, right, and I
Yeah.
missed the cities above me and below me. And
Ah.
but what I saw was cities in the middle. And so I go, okay, well, let's take that city. And it was like the one on my side towards the middle. And I thought, well, this is a, a map that's, it's a mirrored map. So that means there's another city right over here on his side.
Yep.
So I rushed and took it.
Gaza.
And I saw him taking a city right below.
Aiken.
So I ran my guys down to try to kill his units, because I figured then that would give me more units on his side, and I could have just finished. I did manage to get 3 cities over there, but then I couldn't hold them. And it's just, for him, he only had 3, but he did a nice move to go take a 4th city up top. I was going towards it, and he got it. He got there just in time. I think if I would have got that city, that would have hemmed you in. But I didn't.
Yeah, I was stressing about that one because I knew exactly that. If I wasn't able to get a 4th city, it would have just been so rough.
Yeah, because it would have been like 8-3 or something like that, and that would have been, with I having champions and stuff like that. That I probably could have sent enough military down there, but I never got my economy going. I never, everything else was just rushing units up there. So you had like 5 laws to my 1 or something like that, because I didn't go that way. I didn't think that the towers were going to be that big of a help, but those chariots seem to help you. So
Yeah, I love those chariots. The movement on those chariots saves you so much, right? Because there's a few times I had to force march, but a lot of the time when I was zooming across the board, that wasn't even force marches. That was just a couple of roads and just the movement on. And then I also had the zealot leader for the end too, so that gave me that extra movement. But you get so much coverage with those units.
oh, what does the zealot give you? I guess I don't even know that.
It's like a +1 movement for every unit, or +1 fatigue, or something like that.
Oh, +1 fatigue. Yeah, okay. So then plus the 3 minutes, because I did you a favor by building you a nice little road network to drive. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still really loving this tournament, and it's just, I've never really played person against person. I've only played against the AI, and the strategy is just so different.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I played last year and didn't do very well. I think I won one game and I knocked out, and then I played a few games since. But yeah, I do. It's funny. It's like kind of once you get into this, it's really hard to go back to just the single player.
Yep. So
yeah, I can't seem to find the right balance on the AI. It's like, okay, give them a bunch of you could either give them so much of an advantage that they start with 6 cities and you got one and you just get clobbered, or it's too easy. I can't find like the right middle ground for it.
Yeah, I find it's hard because I often, and maybe this is just my lack of skill, but I end up playing the kind of a very similar game because if you're playing on high difficulty levels, they have such a, like you said, they have such a high advantage. You can't really do anything other than entrench, like spread, entrench, build until you're strong enough. Because I generally like to take some people over instead of just trying for ambitions. So maybe it's just also the way I play. But yeah. This one of the good things about the multiplayer is every game is so different.
Yeah, and I think against the AI, I almost always try to rush to scholarship, but I never get there in a person on person, because you just can't sit there through citizenship and all that.
I mean, the problem is your opponent just comes and knocks on your door.
And that's a long road unless you're
Yeah.
Babylon and a schemer or something,
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions that you have for each other, or anything else you want to share?
No, just thanks for casting, and thanks for the tournament. I hope you do it again next year, because I think like you, Mongrel, I'll learn from this experience.
You still got another game going, at least one more. So
cool deal.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay.
Congrats,
Yeah,
MongrelEyes. Good luck on the rest of the tournament with both of you.
Guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
All right. Thank you all for watching the cast. Going to stop the cast here.